All right, so Rick Hendrick, he's in the house. He's at the table. A lot of people excited about this one. I'm excited about this one. Thanks for coming, Rick.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you never asked me.
Are you kidding me? You're a hard guy to track down. You're busy. So a lot of places we could go with this.
Yeah.
But one thing that I always feel compelled to tell people about Rick when talking about our relationship and going to drive for him and why I decided to go to HMS and all those things is I feel like a lot of people don't know the family connection with Rick and my grandfather Robert G. And so people just think that I know Rick from NASCAR and cup racing and but it goes way beyond that. So you and my grandfather, Robert G., on my mom's side, he was a body man in the business, and Uncle Robert G. Jr. works here at Junior Motorsports. Jimmy G., his brother, my uncle, also worked here as well. All those guys are in racing. Y'all grew up in the same town.
Yep, we grew up in South Hill, Virginia. And when I was 15 years old, I went to Robert's body shop, and he put a scoop on my 65 Chevelle.
A hood scoop?
Hood scoop.
What'd you want that on there for?
Because it was cool back then.
So he had a body shop. How old was he then at the time?
Golly, you'll have to do the math. I don't know.
I mean, he was old enough to own a body shop, I guess, right?
Well, it was called a Flying A station, and a couple of the drag race guys were there, and Robert, and I was almost afraid to go in there to ask him, would he do this scoop on my hood, and he did. And I met him then. Then when I moved to Charlotte in 1977, Robert was running a dirt car, and he came over and he said, "Hey, I've got this dirt car. How about helping me out?" And so we kind of rekindled that relationship, and I was involved in his dirt car.
Why would you be afraid to go in there initially? Was it just
intimidating? That was a rough crowd, man.
Oh, was it?
They were. No, it was. I was just younger than they were, and there was kind of a little clique there in the town, and you knew that was he and his posse. He had a posse. That's where you got it from.
The original Dirty Mo posse.
That's
right.
Well, all right. So I guess I don't even know how he did, but how did y'all get from South Hill down to Charlotte?
Well, I moved to Raleigh, and
why'd you go to Raleigh for?
Well, I was going in
car dealership.
Going to school. No, I was going to school.
What'd you do? And what'd you go to school for?
I was a work-study deal with Westinghouse. I'm actually a tool and die maker. You didn't know that, did you? And I needed a couple more.
You did what?
Well, yeah. What? Tell us about this. What?
A tool and die maker. It's kind of an engineering deal, and you design and make special tools. And I needed a couple more years to get my engineering degree, but I was peddling cars and working in a service station while I was going to school, and I thought I could make more money selling cars, and I started working on them. I think I told you, Dale, I have a $300 Opel story. I was working in a station, and one of the professors said, "Hey, I need you to tune my Jag," and I did. And so a wholesaler comes along, and he says, "I got this Opel, I need to put a clutch in it." I said, "I haven't got time, I got to go to school." He said, "Well, I'll take $300 for it." So I borrowed the money from the guy that owned the service station. And then the guy that owned the Jag came back and said, "Hey, I'm looking for a car for my wife." And I said, "Well, I got this Opel, and it's got an $800 loan value." And I thought he'd give me $800 or $900. He said, "Well, I'll give you $1,200 for it." And I said, "Okay, I need to quit working on it and start selling them."
This was a professor?
Yeah.
So basically what I'm hearing is that the professor basically talked you out of school.
No, he didn't. No.
In a way, he
Okay,
did.
well,
he cut you like the deal in itself made you realize that you could make money in other ways.
Yes.
From a professor, basically. He has no idea he had that type of influence on you.
And I hadn't called him either to tell him about it either.
Call him and tell him it's worked out fine.
It's worked out
okay.
He might want some compensation for that. So you said in 1977, Robert reached out. You had the City Chevrolet store and on Independence?
Independence.
Same place it's always been.
Same place.
The same City Chevrolet that was on the car in Days of Thunder that everybody knows very well. So in 77, I've seen pictures of this car. My granddaddy Robert G had a dirt car, orange and white, blue 17 on it, and Dad had drove this car. Darrell Waltrip raced this car in Snowball Derby and other places, but at the time, I think Haywood Plyler was driving the car.
Haywood was driving it
around Metrolina and different racetracks. And so I seen the City Chevrolet on the door of this car. I've got several pictures of it. And so Robert comes to you. You go, where you go down to the dealership or something and show up in your office or what?
Well, there was a guy that we both knew, C.N. Taylor, and he called me and he said, Robert wants to see you. So, we talked on the phone first.
Yeah.
And then I went over to his house. And
next to the Speedway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
how'd that conversation go?
It was just old friends, and I was intrigued.
What'd you give him?
I gave him a little money and some parts.
Parts?
Paid him in parts.
How much money?
And I don't remember.
A couple $100
It wasn't a lot.
Yeah, right. And he put it on and that was it? One-time deal?
No, we continued to help him.
He'd call you up and he'd come over with some parts? Tell me.
I think there was a truck involved too.
Now we're getting the real, yeah. There was a truck involved.
But, and then I guess he talked me into the Busch car.
Right. So
and my first race as partners with him, the first race, your dad won Charlotte. First
you got
race.
Pictures of that.
I thought this stuff's easy, man.
So that was in 1982, I think. Maybe 83, 82, 83.
83, I think.
So fill in the gap between 77 and 83. Y'all just running. He's just running that dirt car with City on the side of it. And
yeah, and I'm racing. I'm racing boats.
Oh, that's right.
So
all right.
So
what's the boat racing all about?
Yeah.
Why'd you want to race boats?
Well, I grew up on a lake, and I always liked fast boats. So I got into drag boat racing, at first with jet boats, and then with hydros, and I went from 100 to 170. And I had a boat that held the world's record at 222. I didn't drive it, but Jimmy Wright in Richmond drove it, and he was killed in the boat. And so when he was killed, I just stopped, and I was storing the boats over at Harry Hyde shop, and we were trying to find a sponsor, and Max Mulliman was trying to help me with that.
That's a familiar name.
Yeah, he worked on the PSLs and NFL. He's a great sports guy, and so he was trying to find a sponsor for the boats. And he called me one day and he said, how would you like to be partners with, C.K. Spurlock, Kenny Rogers, and have Richard Petty drive the car? And I thought, this is a trick question? And because I knew Harry was there doing nothing. And so we kind of put a deal together. The night that Richard got caught with the big motor in Charlotte, I was sitting in the garage area with Harry Hyde, and Richard comes over to the car, and Harry says, "What's the matter, Richard?" He said, "Well, my motor's checking a little big," and so and Harry said, "Well, it'll be okay as soon as it cools off." And Richard said, "You can take that one to Alaska. It ain't gonna cool. It ain't gonna check." So that was kind of the start of I was in Germany for a Mercedes trip.
Yeah.
And he backed out.
Richard backed out.
Yeah.
Dang. And so Richard backs out of this potential race team to drive for you. And what was the next decision for you? You had an opportunity, you had an out, but you stayed in there.
Well, I was already building cars.
Really?
Yeah. And I think we had 5 people. Now, you're talking about how cheap you can start a team. I was renting the transmissions and the gears. I was renting the equipment in the shop and renting the shop.
Man.
So I started with not a lot, but I thought that we will have STP with Richard. So we were too far along and
to turn back.
All
right, so there's a picture of you and Dad standing in the garage.
Yep.
At Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dad's in this plain blue uniform.
Wrangler.
But it doesn't have Wrangler on it. It's just blue.
Okay.
But it would have probably been a Wrangler uniform. I don't know why it didn't have anything on it. But you're standing there with him. And he was testing your cup car.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? You call him up and say, "Hey, I got a cup car. I need some laps."
Yeah. And I knew him through Robert.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, because he drove your
yeah.
sportsman car,
Yeah.
won the race.
Yeah.
So when he wins a sportsman race, you're like, hey man, what's your deal? You got a deal?
No.
Well, how did you
Yeah.
get him over? Because he's kind of in between rides,
Yeah.
not sure exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He isn't with Richard Childress back. He's not back with Childress yet in '84. So what is he testing your car for?
Well, we just asked him to come over and shake the car down. And so we started talking. And of course, I wanted him to drive the car. And, but it's a startup team.
Yeah.
No history, no nothing.
Right.
But at least we had a relationship.
Sure.
And if you see the picture, he drove the car. Then I drove the car in a suit with a white shirt and his helmet.
Really?
Yeah. I've got pictures of that too.
I need those pictures.
Okay. I'll get
Because
them.
that I've not seen that one.
Okay.
So you got in the car and drove it.
Yeah.
How fast were you?
A little bit faster than your dad.
Bull crap.
That's the way the story goes, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Golly.
I'm going to stick with it too.
So you were trying to recruit him. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You didn't. What would you say your chances were at that? Like
Zero.
zero.
But
you
I'm
were going to try.
But
you
I'm a
weren't gonna
car
go-
salesman. I mean, I've got to try, right?
Yeah.
I love that about you. There's been deals that you've made over the years, and even as recently, I remember when I was on the phone with you when Dale was out with concussion, and you called and said that Jeff Gordon was going to replace him for a few races, and I'm like, "How did you do that?" And Mr. H says, "Because I'm a hell of a car salesman."
Yeah.
That's true, though. But
So-
yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I heard a rumor that you reached out to, so in the beginnings of your cup team, when you're trying to build it and get guys, I heard that you'd reached out to Larry Pearson and David Pearson shut it down. Did you ever reach out to Larry to drive your car?
I didn't. Maybe
Yeah.
Harry did, but I didn't.
Gotcha.
No.
What other drivers have you tried to hire or wanted to hire? What kind of deals maybe that we don't know about that almost came together? Or
No. Well, I've got to think now.
Yeah.
We're talking to Tim Richmond, and he didn't want to go. He put it off, giving me an answer, and then I hired Bodine.
so you were talking to Tim first,
I was talking to Tim,
Yeah.
first.
and he wouldn't commit.
He wouldn't commit.
What was he doing?
I don't even remember.
He was probably with the
With Raymond, I
Max.
think.
Yeah.
Yep. So the way it happened is I said, Tim, I've got to have an answer. So Bodine came in, and he was sitting in my office, and I said, well, it was like 10 o'clock, and I said, I can't do anything because Tim's got a contract in his hand, and I've given him till 3 o'clock. And Geoff said, well, I'm just going to sit here and wait.
Yeah, I would have too.
So I was like, okay, well, I want you, because if you want to drive it, I want a guy that wants to drive it.
What was your sales pitch back then? What was your go-to point that you were trying to talk these guys into coming to race for you? What was it? Why should they go to race for you back then?
I don't really know, other than I told them I was committed, and I grew up racing modifieds with my dad and Ray Hendrick, and working on cars. I was in drag racing, and not many drag racing guys have gotten into cup racing, done very well. But I knew that I probably could try to hire the right folks. But we started with 5 people, and Bodine, I owe Geoff Bodine a lot because he took a chance. And we kind of established ourselves. We won 3 races that year. But if we hadn't, we were going to close the shop after the 6th race in Darlington, I think it was. We wrecked, and I said, Harry, I can't go any further. Don't have a sponsor, and I can't put my businesses in jeopardy. And so let's run one more race. And as Harry said, Bodine's good at Martinsville. He went up there and won the race.
What was the sponsor on the car? Northwestern.
Northwestern Security Life.
What is that?
That's an insurance company.
Oh,
I did business with them in the automobile business.
yeah. So
Why are you chuckling?
well, because a lot of his deals are he's very good at business to business.
Yeah.
Which is critical to in today's market.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to your sponsor giving them real value. How much money were you spending a race back then? You wanted to you was going to shut the team down,
Well, I think
or you?
we ran the whole year in 1984 for $800,000.
Yeah, and that was a lot.
That was a lot.
Yeah,
That was a lot.
Holy
A lot to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I had 5 people.
Yeah.
And Harry was making $500 a week
Mm-hmm. Was he
as a
happy
crew
with that?
chief. That's what he asked for.
Really?
He wanted to race
How did
that
you
bad.
get Harry Hyde to settle down? Because that guy was like Suitcase Jake almost. He was moving around from team to team. Of course, he did stay with the 71 car for a while in the 70s, but he was kind of cantankerous, right?
Yeah.
How'd you and him get along? And I know he didn't quite get along with Bodine in the end. He ended up going and working with Tim, which that was a great marriage. But
Yeah.
what made Harry Hyde happy?
I think when he finally got Tim, Tim had so much talent. So did Geoff, but they kind of locked horns, and so
Personalities.
yeah. And
how bad did it get? Like what was?
Oh, it got real bad. Okay, yeah,
Really?
it got. So we were like halfway through the season, and I had already hired Tim to run the second car. So I told Harry and Geoff, I said, okay, we got to get through the year. We got sponsors. So you guys need to get along. You can do it. So I got all the team together. And I said, and Geoff said, well, Harry, I'm going to do my best. We're going to get along the rest of the year. And so Harry said, Bodine, you're a prick and a prima donna, but I love Rick Hendrick more than I hate you, so I'm going to try to do it. And I said, whoa, Harry, wait a minute. Let's go outside. We got to start all over again.
That's not the good first step we're doing into salvaging this relationship.
That really wasn't after an hour of me, trying to sell the team and say, hey, we got so much to look forward to. We can, we just got to hold it together. And I mean, I'd spent a good hour
thought you had them,
putting the love on them, and
I could just see Mr. H at the time when he goes, "You're a prick and a prima donna," and Mr. H is going,
yeah.
I mean, like the things that these drivers and crew chiefs put you through over the years. It's amazing you even come out. But I mean, this is one good example.
It's torture. It's really torture.
You're a counselor. You're a therapist for everybody. You know that, right?
Exactly. That's right.
Right around this particular time in NASCAR, that Dad and Geoff were running over each other every week.
Yeah.
How did that not become worse than it was? Like it's I've watched races even recently and where Dad would wreck Bodine and they'd put you on camera and you're like, we got to figure this out. These guys got to figure this out. Can't keep tearing race cars up. And then if you think about, a lot of people look at Days of Thunder and there's a particular part in the movie where they're tearing up the rental cars and Bill France brings the drivers in to have a conversation with them in his office and all that. That was sort of taken a little bit out of context, but from that story of Dad and Geoff when they were running over each other. Now, they didn't tear up rental cars. They actually had to ride in a car together, right?
That's right.
Who made that? Like, so NASCAR Bill France said, y'all going to straighten this out. You're coming to Daytona?
We went to Daytona.
And you're going to ride in the car together. Who did that?
Well, we were having a meeting, and it was a short meeting.
In his office?
In France's
What did he
office.
say?
He said, boys.
Who's in the room?
It's Richard Childress and me and your dad and Geoff Bodine.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill France. And he says, I've got videos here, and we can look at tapes, but you two monkeys are not going to blank my show.
Yeah.
And he said, so here's the deal. If he looked around the table, he said, now, Rick, you can go back and sell cars. Richard, you can, I don't know, you can go back to doing whatever. And he said, and he told Geoff he could go back up north. And he told your dad, he said, I don't know what you do, make a living, but if y'all going to be in this sport, this is what's going to happen. And so he said, now we're going to go eat. And so your dad said, he said, I can't, I've got plans. And Bill France said, there's a phone, change your plans.
Ooh. Dang.
So, and then, so he said, now, Richard, you and Rick ride together with me, and Geoff, you and Dale ride together. And they didn't wreck. That was
yeah.
Did they protest?
No, nobody. You knew when you walked in there, you didn't have any options, and you didn't get to speak.
Well, Dale Earnhardt tried to get out of it. He tried to get out of it with his other plans, but that got shut down.
That shut down.
He wasn't going to protest though, riding together with Geoff.
No, he didn't. I mean, I think he could tell, and the situation was getting kind of edgy.
Yeah.
And so
Did you or RC go ask the drivers how did that go? I mean, did y'all talk? I mean, like what happened?
Did you and Richard ever get together before that? Like, hey, how do we sort these guys out?
no, we'd look at each other when it would happen and say, hey, we weren't we weren't driving a car. you know?
Really?
And because both of us would get upset. And and I told Geoff Bodine one time, I said, listen, you don't pick up a snake and shake him by his tail and let him go. If you're going to, you go rub on him, then he's going to wreck you. So why don't you just quit? But they just couldn't do it. But the bill said, okay, the next race, if you guys even get close to each other, I'm going to have to park the cars and come down out of the tower and inspect them because something must be wrong with them. And it might be the end of the race because I don't know if I can get across the track.
Oh,
I mean, it was
Wow.
it was pretty cold.
That's a threat.
Oh,
That's a big threat.
well, he had enough.
Yeah. It was getting out of control.
It was getting out of
They were
control.
wrecking each other in Xfinity races and each other's cars and Granddaddy's cars.
Yeah.
So Dad and Geoff got along.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess the car ride thing worked.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I would have thought they'd come to blows inside the rental car, but I guess not.
So you talked about driving the car at the test with Dad, but you actually ran in some cup races.
Yeah.
I think when Tim was sick, you got in the car at Riverside, right?
Yeah.
Did you run more than one?
I ran two. I ran.
Where else did
I
you
ran
go?
a bush race and
Where'd you run a bush race at?
Road Atlanta.
You wouldn't dare go to them ovals, would you?
No.
Why not?
Well, I'll tell you what. One day.
Did you think he was a good road racer?
No. Well, I was decent.
Yeah,
I qualified my guys.
Didn't you run in the
Yeah.
the Southwest Tour or something?
Was leading by like 3 seconds, and they threw a caution, and a guy by the name of Ron Hornaday
He was on the show
turned
last
me
week.
on. Yeah.
He spun you out.
Yeah. And then I gave him a truck to get him in the racing one week.
He told that story actually. Yeah, you really kind of helped him out later in life.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about the time he wrecked you.
No.
It's funny how they just forget those
Oh,
details,
no,
right?
it is. He acts like he had amnesia. I don't remember. Were you driving that car? I don't think you were driving that car.
So you ran a Southwest Tour race at Riverside. You ran a Cup race at Riverside. Were you nervous going into the Cup car? You're in the big boys. You're the owner. Like the owners aren't supposed to suit up.
Not really. I was.
That to me is so interesting.
Well, I qualified 13th, I think.
Yeah.
And then everybody pitted, and I stayed out, so I was leading. And then when they got ready to restart, they were all packed behind me, and I thought, that's when I got nervous.
Yeah.
But I guess one of the things that I remember the most about that race is Richard Petty was right on me. It went into turn 9, and he got under me. But then when you come off of 9, you go to the flag stand, it goes back to the left.
Yeah.
So if you're on the outside, if you don't give the guy room, he's going in the dirt. So I didn't give Richard room, and I looked in the mirror, and he was doing donuts through the parking lot. I don't know. I haven't told him. I don't know if he remembers that or not.
What do you want to apologize to him for that?
This is the time to do it.
Put
right
Richard,
now.
put Richard Childress in the dirt.
Richard, I'm sorry. I really am.
He's coming on the show here in a couple weeks.
Yes. We may or may not bring that up and see if he remembers.
Well, he and I've talked about what if he had, started racing with me, but it just STP and curb records, I think.
Yeah.
But I did one other story about your dad. So they used to give you $1,000 for the fastest time in Charlotte in the Busch Series and the Cup Series. So I went over there in your granddad's car, and I put a 750 carburetor on it. And so Bobby Allison and your dad and 3 or 4 other guys, and I won top time. I was fastest. So I'm feeling real good, and I go out again. And I go into turn 1, I look, and all I could see was your dad's eyes, and I could see his face like it was, and I pulled right over and came in, and he said, after that, he came in over to me, and he said, "What happened? Why'd you quit?" I said, "I'm not stupid." I was getting ready to get dumped good, but
you felt like it was coming, huh?
I felt like it was coming.
Yeah.
They used to give away cars give you a car if you won the pole, I think, at Charlotte. And I don't know if Tim was driving for you when this happened, but they'd give Tim the car for winning the pole. And the guys that own the promoters, like I guess Humpy and them, had been driving this car around for like 4 or 5 months and smoking in it and burning up the dang. Got all kinds of burn marks in the interior and stuff. And Tim's like, I thought I was getting a brand new car. He was so ticked off.
They would award their car.
They gave him basically a rental. It smelled like a pack of Marlboros.
Well, Schrader got his deal wasn't that good. So I told Schrader, I said, look, if you win the pole, I'll give you a truck. And so Schrader won the pole. And we had this $400 or $500 truck, rusted out, smoking, just a junker. And so we brought it over to the track and gave it to him. And that was fun. You remember, I don't know if you remember this, but when we always cut up a lot with Schrader.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I put a sign in the back window of the race car. Driver wanted $1 million guarantee, and so Rusty Wallace and all the guys.
Of course,
it was funny.
Damn, that had to hurt his feelings a little bit.
We were just cutting up. It wasn't like real serious.
It would hurt my feelings.
It hurt my feelings.
I mean, listen, we've had drivers in this seat, old drivers that have been talking about times their teams they felt like were, wronging them or something. Dave Marcus was talking about, how he had to quit at a post-race press conference, and they're sensitive.
Yeah.
These guys are so sensitive, way more sensitive than we ever thought, right?
But you don't understand. Schrader was adopted by my mom and dad, and
real?
They loved him.
Not for real. Okay,
not for
right.
real. But
I thought we were getting breaking news here about Schrader.
No. but they absolutely loved him.
Yeah.
So we cut up and played a lot.
He was like a brother.
He was like a brother.
Yeah.
So one race you ran in, I remember, was at Topeka, Kansas, ARCA race.
Yeah.
I'd been with Schrader for the whole week. He's coming.
I remember that one.
Yeah. He's coming on the show to tell
Let's
that story.
see if you're willing to go into details about this story.
Well, we're going to save it for the Schrader interview.
Yeah.
But we will talk about after I've been with Schrader for the whole week, running around in dirt races all over the country with him, and it culminated with this final race of the week in Topeka, Kansas, ARCA race. Dad's running, you're running. Aren't you running?
Yep.
And Schrader and Darrell Waltrip.
Yep.
And so Dad showed up on race morning, like he's going to start in the back.
Right.
Not qualify, not practice or nothing. And I was not feeling good because I'd been with Schrader for a week. I was sick as a dog. But Rick comes up. I'm hanging out at this motor coach that was kind of home base for all the Schrader's bunch. And so I'm hanging out with him, and I haven't even seen Dad yet. And but Rick comes up and says, "Hey, I want you to sign. I want you to sign a lifetime contract." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And so he grabbed a napkin and wrote like a short little 2-sentence contract, and we both signed it, and we should have kept it.
I wish we had kept it.
Yeah. And he wanted to take it and show it to Dad. And did you ever show it to him?
No, because your dad was so hot that morning when he got there because he heard the story.
Because of what he had done all week.
Who told him all about that?
I do. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Because I'm standing by the car before the race started.
Yeah.
And he walks up to me. You know how he'd catch you by your collar like that when he's talking to you?
Yep.
He got real close to me and he said, "I'm going to kill Schrader." And I said, "It had nothing to do with it." He said, "I'm going to kill him." And I thought, I'm about 10th and he's in the back. How long is it going to take him to get to me? Because I'm going to move over.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, it was funny.
He really was mad, huh? I
Yeah,
always thought he was sort of
hot.
messing with Schrader like you were.
He was hot. I mean, he was mad.
So him and Schrader didn't talk for probably a year.
What?
Yeah. He
Over that?
coincidentally dumped Schrader at Pocono the next cup race they ran.
Whoa.
Yeah, as far as I remember.
I don't know who told him what went on, but somebody did.
Yeah.
You couldn't go in a club. I remember that.
I know that. I couldn't
Okay,
go
all
into
right.
particular clubs.
Okay.
But
them old Kansas clubs.
And I wasn't. I wasn't with them. No,
yeah.
Oh, man,
I sat out in the parking lot at the club and watched some guy sell guns out the trunk of his Cadillac. Yeah.
I don't know why Dale Earnhardt had such a big problem about this.
Yeah.
This is where he learned about the
But it was
aftermarket gun sales.
I was so hungover that I hid from Dad for several hours that morning out on the pits. Out in the pits, I was sitting in Schrader's pit, and this guy's gluing lug nuts on the tires, and I'm just sitting on one of them tires, and the sun's out, and I'm feeling like crap. And Dad walked up and looked down at me, and I looked up at him, and he didn't say a word, and I didn't say a word, and he just knew. I knew he knew, and he walked away. And I didn't think he'd be that upset about it. I think that I felt like, damn, you knew this was going to happen.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
why are you surprised?
Went with Kenny Schrader.
Schrader wasn't a mystery to anybody. He knew what you got.
I honestly believe that Schrader had asked if Kelly could go on the trip, and Dad turned that down and said Dale Jr. should go. And
Kelly come. Now that would have been something.
And so Schrader's like, all right, fine. And I mean, we went to like 4 or 5. We went to a dirt track every night racing. It was amazing. And they drank beer, and I drink beer with them. But anyhow,
he bummed rides, didn't he? Didn't he catch a ride with somebody after the race in a pickup to get him to the airport or something? It was crazy.
Yeah. It was a wild week, and that was an average week for Schrader.
I know, right?
But it was the funnest thing ever.
Was he more mad than what he would have been mad at Bodine? Like, compare the two, Schrader or Bodine. Who gets the worst of it?
I don't. That morning, I never saw Dale mad.
Oh,
With whatever was going on with them two happened on the track. But this was before the race.
this was family. This is personal.
This is personal. I knew the difference between kind of playing upset and upset.
Yeah, that was tough. You've seen Registics on our Junior Motorsports cars this year, especially having a ton of success with their paint schemes, and you probably wonder who they are. Well, if you sell discount appliances or merchandise, you need to get in touch with these guys. Registics works directly with retailers and manufacturers to get you the best deals from the leading home improvement brands. Whether you're looking for great deals on truckloads of customer returns, scratch and dent appliances, or shelf pull inventory, Registics can help you out. They are like Junior Motorsports, a team that knows what it takes to win. And they also have Charlotte Wholesale, an amazing warehouse right down the road in Cornelius, North Carolina, where they sell directly to the public. It's a running joke around here that every time one of our employees goes in there, even when they are there just to work an event, they leave with something. We recently unveiled the Registics paint schemes for 2026 on all of Junior Motorsports' social channels. And I'll be excited to see if we can match the success that we had in year one. Last year, they won in their very first race as a primary sponsor on one of our cars, which happened to be the Pocono race with Connor Zilic and the number 88 team. I was the crew chief, and I'll never forget it. We had a blast celebrating in Victory Lane with Phil Grant and the entire team. The good luck for the Registics scheme carried on with them picking up another win with Connor at Watkins Glen, and then they finished in the top 5 in 5 of their 6 primary races. They've been amazing to partner with, and they do a lot for the fans. They had a incredible fan event that they hosted at their headquarters with all of our drivers back in September, and they also offer fun giveaways throughout the season. We're proud to partner with Registics. They center their business around building long-term relationships, which is something that we put a lot of energy into as well. They've proven that they're invested in your success and know that when you win, everyone wins. Unlike the other guys, when you partner with Registics, you can trust that they'll do what they say they'll do. For reliable inventory and fair and consistent pricing, visit Registics.com. That's REGISTIX.com. One of the funnest things that I like to talk about is our first meeting at HMS. He likes this one.
I love this one.
Yeah.
This is so good.
I'm going to let you tell it, and I'll see if you tell
And
it
then you
correctly.
fix
We've
it.
talked
You
about
fix
it.
it.
Yeah, we've talked about it on this show before, and people were surprised. But and you might not know everything, all of it, but you probably do. But we had went to Joe Gibbs. We met with Joe and the owner of the Redskins, Snyder, at his house, right?
Yeah.
And they showed us a contract, and I'd been making, I think my salary was $600,000 or something at DEI. I can't remember. It might have been twice that, but it wasn't. It was comparable to most drivers. It was in the lower end. So but I thought that was a lot. I'm like, man, this is great. And then when I went and seen this contract that Joe handed to me and Kelly, it like short-circuited my brain. Like I couldn't believe somebody was wanting to pay me this kind of money, right? Yeah. And so when I went to meet with you, my heart was to drive for Rick. HMS to me all these years had been this perfect, opportunity and this best team, and they just won and won and won and won, and they had a really amazing reputation. Plus the family connection I had been racing for family for all these years, and that's such a security blanket.
Yeah.
And I'd like, man, I kind of have that same security blanket if I go drive for Rick. He's like family. He'll take care of me, give me the benefit of the doubt. And anyways, we go to the meeting, and he's got that paper, and he slid that thing across the table, and I was like, I ain't looking at that. I was like, I don't even want to know what it says. And
you really said that to him? I don't want to see what that says.
Oh,
or did he said it?
And I said, well, okay, don't look at it. It was actually everybody was a little nervous, and I really wanted to drive the car. And Ricky had told me, my son, he's going to drive for us one day. So I never thought it would happen. And so I had labored over this contract with Marshall for weeks before I was going to show it to him, And so we go in the room and sit down, and I said, well, here, Dale, here's what we can do for you. And he said, I don't care about that. And I thought, give it, okay. Let me have it back. Don't look at it. But then it was kind of funny because Marshall was in with us, and Marshall was he was kind of uptight. And so Dale, we were talking about it. Dale said, all right, I thought we had it. We were all done. He said, I have a couple things that I want. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go. This is going to be big. This is going to be real big. And he said, I want the skirts on the car painted the same color as the car. And took me about a second to say, what?
It still blows my mind.
That okay. And I think the helicopter, you wanted a helicopter for a couple of races.
Yeah. I was like, I want a helicopter ride to Martinsville.
Unlike any negotiation you have ever had.
Never, ever. I mean, don't care about the money. Don't care about that.
Yeah.
And
somebody had to eventually look at that paper, though.
But yeah, well, I said, you and Kelly sort that out.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all agree to. I'd already had more money than I knew what to do with. So money wasn't money didn't motivate me and make me happy. What made me happy was how my car looked.
Side skirts.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if the side skirts aren't painted, that ruins the entire car. And I drive the car. I want the dang thing to look good.
And then
I never understood drivers that don't care about what their car looks like.
Oh, we had two sponsors hooked up, and so we were in a meeting with them, and we go through everything with them, all the big stuff, the numbers and everything. And they said, oh, there's one more thing we got to have. Dale's got to design the car. They said, what? No, we can't. I said, that's the deal. Dale's got to design the car. That's a deal breaker. Yep. And I'm sitting there. We're looking at all this money, and we're going to blow it over. He's going to design the car.
Yeah.
But you did, and it looked good.
Yeah,
and they liked
all right.
it.
It's all right. I look back at I remember sending him the paint schemes, and it felt frivolous, like sending Rick the ideas that I had.
Right.
I'm like, hey, Rick, I want to be involved, and I want to send you some of these, and you can show them to whoever. And I felt it felt frivolous.
Because it was.
Yeah,
I mean, like
petty. It felt petty.
Like he doesn't have something else in his life going on at the moment. He's got to sit there and mess around with paint schemes.
That was the most important thing.
In my life, that was at the top, near the top of the priority list.
Had you had problems with side skirts? I mean, did you ever get your opinion sought out at DEI? Where did you get burned on this?
We had black side skirts, and then I think the last few races we might have started painting them red.
Okay.
So, if you really need to know, the first time I ever saw this done really well was when Rusty Wallace started his Xfinity team. He had a bright yellow and black number 66 car, and I think Hank Parker's brother, Catfish, drove the car. Billy Parker. But and then eventually Rusty's son drove it. But this car had these side skirts painted on it, and it was freaking beautiful. And it looked like it was so low to the ground compared to other cars without side skirts. I said, I'm hooked. Never, for the rest of my life, I'm going for painted side skirts.
Well, go ahead. Finish your
Well,
thought.
I was just saying, like, I'm the one out there driving the car, and I felt like, God, that's kind of a good thing that the driver cares what the car looks like, and it's a motivation. Like, if you like the way the car looks, you're going to want to take that car and do something good with it. You know, I never understood drivers that don't have an opinion or a care, I guess, about what the car looks like. You know, that to me, the design and the beauty of the car, like trying to win best appearing car and trying to have good craftsmanship and trying to build a pretty race car from the inside out, has always been something that was important to me.
Well, Jimmy did that.
Yeah, my Uncle Robert.
Yeah, with Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson did that with the Ally car. Yeah. He sent me.
Well, he said you worked with him on that.
Well, I just gave him my opinion, but if you call a couple text messages back and forth working with him. But he sent me he's like, hey, man, I'm going to help design this car. What do you think about X, Y, and Z? And I was like, this is what I would do. But, yeah, so Jimmy, maybe I rubbed off on this big-time, 7-time champion.
Listen, we learned from Kozlowski a few weeks ago that Mr. Penske is deeply involved in the paint schemes and the looks. And we didn't know that
off on all the paint schemes. How about that?
Yeah. Did you know that?
I did know that.
So
I heard that.
The question is
I'm not so quirky after all.
Right. Well, so how much do paint schemes and the look of your race cars actually matter to you?
It matters a lot. I like for the cars to look good.
Yeah.
And there's some paint schemes I haven't liked, but usually between the driver and the sponsor, that's what they want. So
you don't typically get involved. Have you ever just absolutely killed a paint scheme idea saying that will never be on my race car? You have.
I have.
What was it?
I'm not going to say.
Do it.
I wasn't going to ask, but I knew he would.
I knew he would. Nope, not going to happen.
Was it recent?
No.
Was it Dale?
No.
Why can't you say if it was so long ago?
I'm not going.
You don't have to say, just nod. No, all right, just go start going through drivers.
Well, I do know. I came up with a paint scheme for the 48, the new one.
You did?
No. I came up with one, and they killed it. Jimmy killed it.
Oh, no.
Oh.
He said that's too old-fashioned. That's too conservative.
Really?
And that's when you two were bouncing back for it.
Yeah.
So I actually like the one they came up with.
Yeah, I think it's a good-looking car.
The Ally looks good on the hood.
Yeah. What was the conversation like when you sat down with Letarte and told him that he was going to be my crew chief? Did you sit down with him?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
He thought he was getting fired. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's what he says.
Well,
he thought he was getting let go. If you go back to that particular point in time in that career, in my career, in his career, when he starts to tell the story, I'm thinking that he's going to say that when he heard the news that he was going to be my crew chief, he was going to be a little disappointed. Like, oh man, I'm going from Jeff Gordon to Dale Jr. and Dale's been struggling. This is going to be a hard, tough hill. But he was actually relieved because he thought he was going in there to get let go because he and Geoff hadn't done so well. But
I just felt like he would be exactly what you needed.
Yeah.
And
boy, was he.
And so, I mean, I think the day after I told him, he flew up to your house. Oh, he drove up to your house and spent the day with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're amazing. Steve Letarte's amazing too. And like you said, when he heard that news, he went home and thought about it. And the next day called me and said, let's get together. You know about this deal. We're going to work together. We're going to do it together. Because he felt like that it was sort of his last opportunity too, because he had kind of failed or this thing that he and Geoff had going on and ground to a halt. And he looked at me and he kind of said, this is both of our final shot. We're going to have to work hard and make it work. I said, you tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it.
You sort of felt like you were at the
I was
out
at the
of
end.
options as well.
So Rick had delayed and delayed and delayed. Like, you're sitting across the table, and I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable situation, but I felt like that I had gotten a lot more leeway than a lot of guys would have in that situation. We had struggled, we'd failed week after week, year after year, and I was like, man, I don't know how much further Rick can go with this, the way it's going. I don't know where the sponsors are mentally over it all. So I felt like, we had, we'd changed things. We'd changed crew chiefs. We'd changed people. We'd move things around. But this was a big shift, moving me from one shop to the other with an entirely new group of people. And I thought, yeah, this has to work, or this will be the end. But it ended up working out.
How close was he in his assumptions of the situation? Was he sort of out of options?
No. We just, I believe, we're all in the people business, and I don't care what kind of business you're in. It's got to mesh. It's got to fit, and you got to get that right combination. And I could see it and feel it. It wasn't right, and I felt like Stevie could do it. And Dale told me a couple of times that shop was never as good as the 48 shop, 24-48. So I knew I had to get it in his head that he was going to be in that shop with that team. And Stevie was already there. And so it just worked out.
Yeah.
And I never thought about this as the end of it. I thought about it. I'm not gonna let him fail. We're gonna keep going, changing till we get it right.
Is it because there was a confidence issue going on? I mean, he pretty much had lost his confidence as a race car driver, right? I mean, it was building him back up to where he used to feel like he was the best driver on the racetrack. When you don't feel like that, you've lost an edge. You've lost several tenths, right?
Yeah. Well, we didn't give him what he needed, and we just, again, the combination wasn't there, but. Because we started off with a bang. We'd go down to Daytona.
Like won everything
I remember we went to Vegas to test, and we were fast. And all the cars were fast. All of us were. But me and Tony Jr. were really good. And Geoff came over and said, dang. He's like, you're impressive. And I thought, dang, this is awesome. Like, it's working. And then we went to Daytona and won the shootout, won the qualifying race. And, we had a great season all the way. I mean, we weren't winning races, but we were running first and second in the points.
You were running up in the points.
Yeah, me and Kyle Busch were first and second. They were right together. And
then he dumped you at Richmond.
Yeah, but then we went on and won at Michigan, and we had a pretty solid year. Didn't finish out in the playoffs very well or whatever. But started out great.
Yeah.
Then it kind of went off the rails.
Yeah. Why? Why did it go off the rails?
Me and Tony Jr. were getting pretty hard on each other, especially on the radio. And I think, so for me and Tony Jr., that was kind of normal. We did that all the time back in the Bud days. But when Rick and them heard it, they were like, dang, this is bad. These guys.
Well, I won the race. I don't know who won the race, but one of my cars won the race. And here comes the media. And I thought they wanted to talk about the race that we just won. No, they were going to talk about Dale and Tony Jr. going at it on the radio.
Yeah.
And I don't remember all of it, but it was just, it was so much focus on you, and everybody was expecting, a lot.
Yeah, DW said
and
they were going to win 6 races the first year.
Oh, yeah. And everybody was listening to everything y'all said.
Yeah.
So
it was
a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure.
I know.
A lot of pressure on all of us.
For sure. One of the worst, you're always doing a lot of great deals, but I think one of the worst deals you ever done was swapping that helmet for that race car after Homestead.
I do think you got the short end of the stick.
Why did you do that? I couldn't believe it. So he calls me up and he says, hey, I got a question. He's like, after the race at Homestead, I want the helmet. And I said, great, because I've been thinking about that car. And he goes, that's a deal. And I was like, dang, that was easier than I thought.
Well, I thought you deserved it, and I'm happy with the deal. I got the helmet, you got the car.
So you collect helmets, but also you collect a lot of guitars.
Yeah.
What's the deal on the guitar collection? How many you got? And you're all autographed, right? By different.
I got over 200 now.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Why? What? Like what? Do you just take a good if it's autographed by any singer, or is it? Are you particular?
No. I love music.
Yeah.
And I can't sing or can't play, right? But in '84, our race in Nashville, we won. Chet Atkins gave me a special edition guitar.
Yeah.
And then
So that was the beginning of it.
And then Tim Richmond was friends with Bruce Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd go to the concerts with him, and he gave me a guitar. So that's how it kind of started.
Yeah.
And then we won Richmond with the Rock and Roll 400, and that was a beautiful guitar.
Dang.
And so, and then through the car collection, guys, entertainers started coming. And now it's amazing the people that have actually played there inside the building,
Do you have a Huey Lewis in the News guitar?
I do.
Because Tim and Huey Lewis were pals.
Yeah. I was listening to Huey Lewis this morning.
Was you?
Yeah. It's amazing you said that.
Yeah, underrated.
I wish he was still touring. He can't. Something happened to his voice.
Yeah. So where is the next batch of Cup owners coming from? You guys, you and Penske and all those guys been owning cars for a long time. Where's the next group coming from?
I don't know. I think it could be I think with what they're getting ready to do with the new car, it might bring more people in.
Yeah.
And you just never know. I mean, you think that somebody like maybe some of the drivers, like Brad or some of those guys, at some point may decide they want to own a team.
Yeah. What happens to Gibbs, Penske, Hendrick when you guys are gone? How do you position that company and who to continue?
Well, in our situation, we've got my son-in-law as the president, but also Jeff Gordon as a partner. So he'll be there to take care of it.
And you and him have talked about that?
Yep.
You're like,
yep.
I don't care what you want to do. You're doing this.
If he wants to turn it into a boat racing operation.
If we get him to come to work.
So you think that why do you think the new car would create opportunities for new owners?
Well, I think it's going to take it's kind of it's a car that you're going to buy all the pieces from someone else.
Yeah.
You don't need the engineering to build the chassis. Somebody's going to build the chassis. So no 15 or 20 or 30 different chassis out there. And the body's going to be a flange fit body, and the components will all be
affordable,
numbered, and if it does what they say it'll do, and you can run in multiple races.
How many automotive stores have you opened up with drivers? You got one with me, one with Geoff and Jimmy, Terry Labonte. Who else?
That's it.
Have you opened up stores with anybody else that would be?
Oh, Boris said. Boris.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Boris.
You and Boris are pals?
Yeah.
Yeah. He came to you with an opportunity, or
and
what?
The difference between Boris and all you other guys, for you. He works.
He does work hard.
I went out there one day, and he's breaking down tires on a tire machine.
So you're saying that Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet down in Tallahassee, he's not breaking down tires, and he's not.
He does go down and pump the guys up.
I need to go down.
He does,
and
it's been a while.
Yeah, but
I'm due for a visit.
You are due.
Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go with you.
You want to go together?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That'll be fun. Yeah.
What have you learned about eyeing talent in drivers since you started as an owner? How do you find talent? What do you look at?
Well, I just look at raw ability and car control, and then have people tell me, "Hey, have you watched this guy?
Yeah.
Have you watched that guy?" And James Finch was my talent scout.
Right. So
for
you got
Chase.
some scouts.
Yeah.
James told you about Chase?
They did.
Yeah. He's watching Chase down there in
the dirt
at the Derby
in
Florida. Called you up and said, Chase pretty good.
Need to look at him. So I did. And there was a lot of guys that we
Who told you about Jeff Gordon?
I saw him.
You did?
Yeah.
Where at?
In Atlanta.
Xfinity?
I was in Atlanta, and I don't know why I was there on Saturday. And I was, that was one track that had a pedestrian tunnel. So I'm going through the tunnel, getting ready to go up in the suite because we had sponsors at both days. And I see him come down the straightaway and go in the corner, and I thought he'd, blown a motor because the tires you could literally see the smoke off the tires. And so I said, well, watch this guy. He's going to crash. And so they said, well, that's that Gordon kid. And I'd watched him on that Thunder sprint car show.
Good deal, yeah.
And so I went, this was the weirdest thing. I went to Motorsports the next couple, I think it was Monday or Tuesday after the race. I walk into Jimmy Johnson's office, the guy that ran it, not the driver, Jimmy.
Right.
And Andy Graves was sitting in there. And I said, it's a shame that Gordon kid's got a contract with Ford. And Andy said, he don't have a contract. He had one the next day. So, yeah.
Dang.
But took a chance with him because we had no sponsor, no nothing, and just felt that strong about him.
You talked about how Tim was a little hesitant to sign the deal before Geoff came. How did you get Tim to come drive for you?
Well, Tim wanted to come
Yeah.
after the first year. And so he came, and, of course, he and Harry didn't get along the first half of the season. No, the Days of Thunder, that story's true, where they went test. And then they hit on it, and, man, this second half of the season, I think he won either set.
Yeah.
First or second.
Killed it.
What did it take for Harry Hyde to like you then?
You had to agree with Harry. You had to.
He sounds like Tony Sr.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have any talent, he'd tell you to your face.
But Tim Richmond had talent.
or
Geoff Bodine had talent.
Harry was a better salesman than Harry. Harry could manipulate things, and so he was slick. He was smart, and but Tim didn't care. I mean, I remember at Riverside, Harry said, "Okay, this motor's fresh. This motor's got 50 laps. This one's got 25 more horsepower than this motor." Tim said, "I don't care what you put it with, whatever you want in the car."
Yeah.
He didn't care.
Sure.
Is that a good comparison, Tony Sr. with Harry Hyde? I mean, because people that didn't know him, I love the stories about Harry. And I'm still trying to figure out what exactly we've asked people that knew him on this show, what was Harry Hyde really like?
Well, I went over there where my boats were stored, and he had this trailer, a house trailer, mobile home, and he had pictures all in it. And I'd go in and he'd tell me stories. He was a storyteller, and he told me, he said, I could build a car today, go to Charlotte and win the race. And I believed him. I mean, that's how convincing he was. But Harry was, he built his stuff bulletproof. I mean, it was heavy, but he had helicopter coolers for oil coolers, and his stuff didn't break.
Yeah. You, when I was a little boy back in 1987, I had a driver that I pulled for. I liked the underdog, and Jimmy Means was an underdog, and ran his own equipment and typically ran in the back half of the field. But when Tim was out of the car there in the middle of that season, you put Jimmy in the car. How did that all come about? He ran the one race at Charlotte for y'all.
Yeah, and he qualified, didn't he?
Fourth,
yeah,
I think.
And he ran really well.
Yeah,
I think he got.
There was a wreck early, big wreck. Took out a bunch of cars. Dad was in it.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those deals that we just wanted to give him a chance.
Yeah, but what did he just? Hey, we need a driver. Who you want to give a chance to? Jimmy Means. I just think we should give Jimmy. How did that happen? You saw him do something.
Well, Harry thought he had
really
talent.
Wow, that's cool. That's a hell of a compliment.
And then somebody told us, "Hey, he's really struggling. Why don't you give him a chance?"
Yeah,
I still give him parts and motors.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, for
his Xfinity cars. Isn't that cool?
That's a common denominator that we get a lot now that we've been talking to people in the sport a long time. Is that there's always a Rick Hendrick helping me out story.
Sure,
it's been happening. I think it's a testament to what you've done for people in the sport, and you've had a lot of people drive for you at this point. I don't know who it was, if it was Matthew or Dale, but listed all the drivers that have driven for Hendrick Motorsports at some point in our notes, and I couldn't believe how many people that is.
How many is it?
Here, Geoff Bodine, Dick Brooks, Brett Bodine, Tim Richmond, Jim Fitzgerald, yourself, Jimmy Means, Benny Parsons, Darrell Waltrip, Rob Moroso, Ken Schrader, Bobby Hamilton, Tommy Kendall, Kyle Petty, Greg Sachs, Stan Barrett, Jimmy Horton, Ricky Rudd, Hutch Strickland, Cyril Vandermerve, Jeff Gordon, Alanster Jr., Terry Labonte, Jeff Purvis, Jack Spragg, Todd Bodine, Ricky Craven, Wally Dallenbach Jr., Randy LaJoy, Ron Hornaday Jr., Jerry Nadeau, Jimmy Johnson, Joe Nemechek, David Green, Brian Vickers, Kyle Busch, Casey Mears, me, Brad Keselowski, Mark Martin, Casey Kane, Regan Smith, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, and William Byron.
If my math is right, that's 45.
Golly, I don't remember that. I don't even remember
people.
But back I guess in the late '80s and '90s, we decided that we want to run another car.
Yeah.
And put somebody in it. We do it.
A lot of times too, Rick, in some of those scenarios, there was some injuries. DW had got hurt at Daytona, and I think that's how Cyril Vandermerve, I don't even know how you pronounce that.
Cyril Vandermeer. He's probably one of the
road racer,
the greatest rally drivers, and he drove the GTP car, and he could not be beat if the car broke. But he was good.
Yeah. So
that was an extra car, I think.
Yeah. Craven had some injuries that you had some guys fill in for. Terry had a few races he missed.
Yeah.
You did. Regan.
I did.
Regan
yeah. So I mean, a lot of those drivers are one-off races, but still pretty cool list. And I ask you all the time, and we'll let you go after this.
And then sometimes, remember, we did the movie Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
So we'd have to take
I ain't counting those.
6 cars. You're not taking.
No, we didn't count those.
Bobby Hamilton.
Bobby. Bobby's in there, but I thought, Bobby Hamilton's in this here list. I thought, Tommy Ellis also drove one of the movie cars there.
Yep,
he's not in
Bristol.
He's not in the list.
Is that just Cup, by the way?
Just Cup.
Okay, just Cup. Okay.
Yep. So we missed one. Tommy Ellis, I guess.
That's when they put a $300,000 camera in the rear bumper.
Yeah.
And I said, you don't want to do that.
At Bristol.
And they said, we got to have it. And I think 5th or 6th lap.
Somebody destroyed it.
Destroyed it.
So you literally entered cars to the race for the movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had to.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There was two cars started at the back of the Daytona 500 that year, and they were tasked to run just 40 or so laps, and then they were going to pull in. But they were out there on the track just getting shots of them. So that's what made I think that's what made that movie so good, is the ability to be able to have like real action.
I think we went to Phoenix and took Bobby Hamilton in a black 51 car.
Yeah.
And I think he sat on a pole.
Yeah. Your movie car?
That wasn't supposed to happen.
That's hysterical.
Yep.
Speaking of Days of Thunder, it blew our mind that Steve Letarte had never watched the movie, being that he's such a Hendrick Motorsports guy for all those years.
You know that?
I didn't know that.
That was the one flaw in his whole tenure at Hendrick Motorsports. He had never seen Days of Thunder while he worked there. He might have won a few more races had he.
I think so.
Watched that movie and known the connection and the link.
Yeah.
It blew our mind because that's basically the Hendrick Motorsports story. Even if it's fictitious in the movie, it's a lot of it. It's inspired by you. And so, as Dale Jr. can do, as only Dale Jr. can do, he guilted Steve on social media and, got Junior Nation behind it, forced him to watch the movie, and then he came on the show to give the review of it. Yeah. And he liked it.
Yeah.
He liked it. So, I know now you can rest easy knowing that Steve
You were friends with Tom Cruise. You still are today.
Still are. Yeah.
Why did you get so heavily involved helping them make that movie? Because y'all had to help them. Y'all provided a lot of race cars and equipment, and y'all were advising and so forth. And did you worry about losing a lot of money there?
Well, the way that happened,
I'd have been a little nervous.
I didn't have any money. Well, I did spend a lot of time building cars and so forth, and we probably put too much effort in trying to help them. But Tom and I and Paul Newman drove together in the SCCA.
Tom Cruise raced?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
SCCA?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's going to be the odd history.
Oh, is it? Oh, awesome.
All right.
We're going to hear that.
I got some odd history.
And so one day we went to Daytona and just testing, playing around. And Tom was driving the Busch car.
Yeah.
And he said, we need to make a movie about this. So next thing I knew,
what?
Yeah.
Hey.
And so then Robert Town came to town and went up, talked to your dad, and Robert and I are still friends.
Who?
Robert Town.
Yeah, so I was at the farm shop with Kelly when Tom Cruise walked in the door to sit with Dad, and him and Dad went in Dad's office for about an hour and just sat. And the rumor is that they tried to talk Dad into playing Rowdy Burns, the bad guy.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know that.
We were hoping. We were hoping he would.
we need some
confirm that.
facts here.
Yeah.
Well, Rick, I was listing all those drivers, and you've been around this sport for a long time, and I asked you this all the time. Why are you still doing it? Like, you're old enough, successful enough, you got car dealerships just cranking along day after day. Why don't you go sit on a yacht somewhere and just goof off the rest of your life? Why? What makes a guy like you or Penske or, other guys similar to keep going? What's the motivation?
For me, it's the people. It's the people at Motorsports that have been there from the beginning and 35 years, giving the guys their 20-year watches. And you've built something I didn't, but all the people together did that's special. And we've kind of built it one brick at a time from 5,000 square feet and 5 employees to what it is today.
It's over 500 employees.
600.
600.
Yeah.
God, you've gained 100 employees since I
Just that you
retired.
got that money back. You got that money back. You were able to invest it in 100 new
I
employees.
have to pay him so much.
That's
I
right.
can buy more people.
That's so bad.
No.
There was a reason he didn't want to look at that piece of paper. That was 100 employees worth of salaries on that paper.
And I look back at like meeting Chase when he's 14, meeting William up here when he was about 14.
Yeah.
And seeing those guys come along, seeing the young guys become crew chiefs, it's just special. I mean, to me, it's the reason to continue is the people, being around them, watching them, not just exiting and something that's been special.
Yeah. I called him one time. I don't remember what was going on in the sport, but something was happening in the sport where everybody was a little nervous. And I called him one time and told him to take $1 million off my salary if he needed to.
That's right.
No, wait, nervous about?
Just there was some
the economy was.
yeah. I think it was
back in
09, 2010.
I'll say that's the only driver that ever I've been associated with in all my years that said, hey, I want you to take $1 million off of my salary and give it to the guys in the shop. Don't have to cut anybody's pay. I'll give up $1 million. Nobody else ever.
What was your response?
Pretty amazing. I was shocked. I mean, it just shows you.
He was like, you sure?
It shows you the character he has.
He was like,
and his
feeling all right?
relationship with people.
You feeling all right?
He was like a little. He didn't know how to take it.
But if those side skirts change, then that deal is off. I want my $1 million back.
That's right.
That's so. I've always been just fascinated by the dynamics of y'all's relationships. I mean, you told a story about, the actual deal and coming to work for Hendrick Motorsports, but you have so many more. I love the story in the general's office. And,
oh my God!
When we were up in Washington D.C.
Oh golly, yeah.
And
that was a rough start.
But I guess that's my point: is that you've always, at least to us, you've always sort of laughed off moments.
None of the National Guard generals saw me.
Well,
tell them real quick what happened.
How could they not see you?
He was sitting on the couch.
He was sitting on the couch, and they were going through. You had a 4-star general, and you had a bird colonel that was going through the charts and the program for racing, and you started snoring. You put your head down, and the general said, "That's enough of that crap. We don't want to talk about that."
He was tired too.
Oh,
Putting him to sleep.
I was freaking out. I thought, this is it. One day on the show, you have to get Kelly, and you have to get her to tell the story about her not going because she had a stomach problem.
Yeah.
And you called her and said, "Hey, Kelly, where are you?" And she said, "I can't go." That was to this deal.
Yeah.
And you said, "If I got to go, you got to go." And I'm listening to the end of it. And all of a sudden he said,
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, that's so funny.
When Rick when we sort of had agreed to the terms on the deal or whatever, signed the contract, Rick, I said, I ain't, now I ain't never tucking my shirt in.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, the most of the drivers that you've hired. And he goes, all right, yep, sure, you got it, no problem. I'll tuck your shirt in. We go to this deal to meet the generals we're in Washington D.C.
It's Washington D.C. You can see the Washington Monument out their window. Right.
And I got my shirt tail tucked in, and I've got on some nice pants, and I'm walking into the building, and I'm just thinking in my mind, like, where's Rick? And I turn around, and Rick's behind me taking pictures.
That's
and he
a
was
moment.
like, I need to document this.
Yeah. He was the paparazzi at that moment.
He was real proud of himself. He's like, look what I got done here.
Y'all had a lot of fun. I tell you what, those years, for all that we went through and you went through from a competition standpoint, and then to end up with Letarte, the dynamics of y'all's relationship has always been fascinating. And listen, I'll go to my grave talking about how special you are to a lot of people, and we're definitely two of them.
Well, listen, I've watched. One of the things that amazed me is we've always been real close, and so we're down in Key West. He's a bunch of guys and having a good time partying, and then about a year ago, I look up, he's coming down the dock with a stroller, and I thought, man, how times have changed. And I've seen it from the early days to growing up being a special father, loving his little girl, and so we're family, and I treasure that, and we'll always be. You guys are special.
Yeah, Rick and Linda have come by the house. Took time out of their day, come by the house at Sea Island, and she'll be here in a bit to say hey to you.
Cute as a button.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, we're glad you came. We'll have to get you back on here in maybe sometime next year. We got more stories to tell.
More stories.
That's
Lots
right.
of stories.